Superman makes no sense as a character. He's got no business being DC's most popular character of all time. I mean, technically speaking, he's just a man in a suit. If I was a man in a suit and I tried going around being a capes crusader or a detective, I'd be detained within the hour. Yes, they'll call me all sorts of names. Oh, here goes the weirdo trying to be a hero. Why is Batman the most popular DC character of all time? Because he doesn't have any powers or special abilities. There are many more stronger, and some might argue more cooler characters than him. So why do we love him so much? In fact, the question I've always had is, why is he respected by some of the most powerful characters in his own verse?
Oh yeah, and that's Batman.
Batman's real?
Yeah, he's over there.
Wait, what? It is a real honor to meet you, sir. Batman. Sir, Batman, sir.
Don't bother. The guy's a total tool.
I followed your efforts in Central City, Flash. You do tight, efficient work.
Even his greatest nemesis, the Joker, has more respect for Batman himself.
What makes you think you can kill Superman when you can't even handle a mere mortal in a Halloween costume?
There's nothing mere about that mortal.
Like when the Joker is not scared of people that have literal powers and is scared of a man who's just a man in a suit, that should be very telling. And of course in the process he even captivates the ladies as well. But I will never in my life forgive Batman for fumbling Wonder Woman in Justice League, bro. I will never forgive you, Bruce Wayne, ever. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? I'm never gonna forgive you. But again, in his own words,
you're a princess from a society of immortal warriors. I'm a rich kid with issues. Lots of issues.
So hey, fair point. The most common iteration of Batman is Bruce Wayne, with the exception, of course, of Batman Beyond and Terry McGinnis. That is a goated show, by the way, where Bruce Wayne is an older man and is basically playing as a mentor for Terry McGinnis, who is like the main Batman and the younger version of Batman. And it was a bit of a nice twist to the typical origin story of Batman. The origin story of Batman is very tragic. You know, he literally witnesses both his parents get killed by some criminals over some jewelry, bro. Where's the decorum, man? Where's the decorum? Over a pearl necklace, bro. But then again, the pearl necklace was probably worth a lot of money, but it doesn't warrant that his parents should have been killed. So he had a very traumatizing, tragic background and a tragic childhood. And I believe this is one of the reasons why many people relate to him, because a lot of people had a very traumatized childhood. And this traumatizing act and this traumatizing time and this traumatizing event literally rewired his brain chemistry and made him feel like, hey, I am never gonna witness another person go through the same pain which I went through. I'm gonna save as many people as possible from being robbed by criminals or robbed by anyone or being harmed by anyone. So he literally put that kind of toll and weight onto himself. It's a metaphor for when you're kind of in life and you have to take on responsibility and you choose to take on responsibility even at a tender age, even when you're at a place when you're not ready to take on that mental toll or that physical toll, depending on the situation. I think this is also one of the reasons why many people love him and find him so relatable. You know, after seeing what Batman has gone through and the things he's had to survive, and him choosing to turn that sort of pain into power and that pain into a weapon against evil, against the very thing which took his parents, that is very noble and that is very inspiring. That is the epitome of a hero. It makes sense why many other heroes like Barry Allen or like Clark Kent look up to Batman, although these are technically more powerful than him, which is why like Batman vs Superman made literally no sense. I mean, it was an enjoyable movie and of course I loved watching it, but it still didn't make any sense at all. Henry Cavill was my goat as well as Superman, by the way. I'm just putting that out there if he ever wants to return one day. Now I know what you're thinking. Yes, okay, Batman is this person who went through this tragedy when he was younger, but hey, this man is a billionaire philanthropist. How is it many people find him so relatable? The obsession makes no sense. He's this billionaire playboy philanthropist who pretty much has his every single thing he could ever want. The fact that he struggles with his own personal relationships, that makes him so much more relatable to a lot of people, because many people of course struggle with relationships, whether it's friendships or actual romantic relationships. Many people struggle with these at some point in some capacity. I mean, bro, when you saw his literal only friend Harvey Dent turn into his enemy, although that was, you know, peak peak seeing Two-Face, it was sad, you know, from a philosophical standpoint. Like when you see your own best friend, who by the way, the love of your life has gone to turn into your biggest enemy, yeah, it's bound to mess up with you, even though you already have a messed up psyche. So yeah. And speaking of the love of his life, his dating life was honestly like horrible. Like Batman in every single verse, except for a couple of times with like villains and women he really can't be with, where it's destined to never work, he genuinely struggles in terms of dating and finding somebody who understands him. He battles juggling his personal life and his love for saving other people's lives. And in the film The Dark Knight, you know, where we get that infamous Dear Bruce speech, however, she also underlines how because he has got this insatiable need to save everyone else, and you know, Gotham needs him, and she realizes there's never gonna come a day where Gotham doesn't need him and where he himself doesn't need Gotham, which just does this double-edged sword like mindfuck type of thing, where it's like Gotham needs Batman, it needs Bruce Wayne, it needs to be saved, it needs to be rescued all the time, it needs somebody who is a beacon and a symbol of hope. But also on the flip side, Bruce Wayne needs the mask of Batman. He needs the outlet of being able to deal with his past traumas because he can't accept and move on from these things. He feels as if it was destined for him to become Batman and for him to save the city. That Dear Bruce speech encapsulates how messed up Batman's life really is, because what do you mean a woman loves me for who I am, but she can't be with me because of who I am? It's like, bro, what? Huh? One of the most important scenes we've ever seen of Batman's character is when we realize that the mask of Batman is a fragile kind of like tape or a fragile bandage onto Bruce Wayne, because he was on the verge of breaking down and he was trying to put on this brave face. But then when he was in that film with Catwoman, she tells him to just take the mask off for one night and just break down in her arm.
Stop. Just for today. Don't be Batman. Don't be the mask. It's okay. Let it out. Just for tonight. Let yourself fall apart. I promise to hold you together.
Although they couldn't be together because of differences in philosophies and differences in worldviews, she truly understood him. And it's very ironic how the villains and people who represented what he's fighting against and what he's trying to protect the world from, what he's trying to protect Gotham from, were the ones who understood him the most. His enemies, like the Joker, were the ones who respected him the most, and they feared him the most, but they also loved him the most, because love and hate is one and the same thing depending on who is telling the story. What also makes Batman special is the fact that it represents that saying where it's like, a villain isn't born, he's made. If you look at Batman's origin story, it's literally the makings of a villain. What do you mean? A criminal or somebody kills both his parents in front of his eyes, and he turns out to be a good character. He turns out to be somebody who chooses to champion and protect people. You could have easily been on the flip side saying, oh, this criminal killed both my parents, now I'm gonna go and kill everybody else. Now I'm gonna go and destroy the rest of the world. And he chose the mighty ground. He chose the almighty route. He chose to rise above hatred and channel its power instead. I think we can also thank Alfred in a lot of these iterations, because Alfred was almost like his father figure, even though his father was actually dead, but Alfred was like really there for him and he guided him on the right path. He is almost like Bruce Wayne's Uncle Iroh. You know how Uncle Iroh was there guiding Zuko, and he was basically showing him the way and being more of a father to him than his actual father. Although I know there's different circumstances where it's like Zuko's father was an actual tyrant and an actual horrible father, whereas we don't know what Bruce Wayne's father was like, you know? At least in the flashbacks, it's not really like expressed like, okay, how was his father? Was he a loving father? Was he a hating father? Was he like a Tony Stark type of father, where it's like he didn't show him that much love because he wanted to mold him into something powerful? And if you really think about it now as well, Tony Stark and Bruce Wayne are one in the same, except one is way more relatable than the other. I wonder why that is. Let me know if you agree with my take, by the way. Do you think Batman is more popular and more relatable than Iron Man? And of course, we can't make a video about Batman without mentioning how incredibly abnormally intelligent this dude is. One of my favorite scenes was in the Justice League when we saw Batman making a contingency plan for every single member. And of course, they were mad at him because they're like, bro, how could you make these contingency plans without informing us? But Batman is so intelligent, he even made a contingency plan for himself. In the event that, let's say somebody's like mind controlling the Justice League, because that would totally never happen, right? Ever, right? Yeah, right. In the event that somebody basically takes control or somebody turns rogue, of course there needs to be a contingency plan, bro. These are the most powerful heroes on earth. But Batman was like, hey, I'm gonna make a contingency plan for all of us, even myself. Of course, he got proven right, as per, you know? So shout out to my GOAT bets. That's the real goal, you know what I'm saying? In conclusion, we can say Batman represents what is possible when you rise above hatred and you choose to channel its power and use it to propel yourself and to rise above the pain and rise above the suffering and move forward. So I've got a question for you. Do you love Bruce Wayne or do you love Batman? I'll see you in the next video. Love.